What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Dauntless Outdoors. Today's episode, we're diving out of Bradenton, Florida, Sarasota area, and we are in about 45 feet of water right now. We got Jesse and Ben back there, both getting suited up. The viz looks extremely good. We can see stuff on the bottom. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Really calm day. We just got out here after work, pretty late in the day. So we're gonna hop in and hopefully make some quick work with some nice fish. Get you guys in the water.
What's going on, guys? Ben here. So I just hopped in the water. As you can tell, the viz is just incredible. We rarely ever have viz like this. This is probably the best viz I've literally ever seen diving the west coast of Florida. So awesome viz. We came out here, it's kind of just after grouper season, so we want to shoot some grouper. This is a number I hadn't dove in a long time, and I knew there was good grouper on it last time we were there, and we never closed the deal on them, so I wanted to come back and do it this time around. We pulled up the number. Viz was great. Got in the water, started swimming around, and there was gags cruising all over out in the open and on the structure. So I spotted this nice guy here, approached him really slow, using that piece of structure in between me and him, so he couldn't really see what my full size, my true size, and see what I was. So I slowly crept over to him, kind of shielding the majority of my body behind that structure. I waited for the fish to turn. Right as he turned, took a solid shot, hit him right in the center of the body. Let the fish tow my shaft and the line along the bottom for a little bit. Just wore himself out, and then headed on up to the surface and just kind of let him play himself out, and then start putting some pressure on him to bring him up. Sometimes on far shots like that, you don't know how much penetration you got, so when you can, it's smartest to just be kind of gentle with him until you know you got him good. But brought this guy up to the surface. First good gag of the day. This guy was like, I don't know, 28 or something inches. Headed back down to the bottom. After I took the fish to the boat, I realized there was tons of gags sitting behind the boat, just hanging out around the shadow line from the boat being anchored. So I'd already spotted this big gag. I let him swim off in the open, and the water was so clear he spooked away from me. So I let him go. I waited. I went back down to the bottom after a little bit, and started throwing up sand and kind of grunting and stuff to get his attention and draw him over. So you'll see, I'm trying to get his attention. He starts coming over. He gets close enough to where he can kind of tell what's going on, and I was also throwing that much sand to kind of hide my body too. He kind of realizes, yeah, I don't know what that is, so he stops and waits. I start closing the distance towards him, and then once I get close enough, I wait for him to turn. Right as he turns, I take a shot. I hit him a little bit low, so I just let him run. There's really nothing for him to get stuck on, and we weren't seeing too many Goliath grouper and stuff, so I wasn't too worried about it. But I let him run around, wear himself out, and that's kind of how you kill a really smart gag and good viz. And then just be calm. And then that guy came out to be like 15 pounds, so great.
Alrighty, y'all. Josh here. Ben just secured both those nice gags, and I was a little bit farther away from the area that he was at, and where I was diving didn't really have anything going on. So I swam over to where he was, and as you see here, I kind of include this whole dive, which we typically don't do in our videos, but I decided I was going to do it. Let me know if you guys like this format, or if you guys want it to just keep it short and just watch the main part of it and just seeing what we do. But on this dive here, I'm headed down to the bottom. I saw one gag off the other side when I was on the surface, just because of how great the viz is on this spot and how good it was this day. So I decided I was going to throw that knife there. I typically don't do that. I've never tried it before, and I wanted to see if it would like pull a gag out from under this thing, but it didn't work at all. There was one that was kind of paying attention to it, but it really wasn't worth time doing it, so I wouldn't recommend doing it. So grab the knife, and I just keep slowly moving along the bottom, trying not to spook anything, and trying to get a good shot on a pretty good gag here. So there's one on top of the span right there that I'm looking at, but he's just not big enough for... He was legal, but I just didn't want to take the shot on him, and I'm just slowly moving, and you can see it right now. I'm aiming at a gag, and it's just slowly backing away. Its nose is just poking back into the ledge. And as I get over there, I see a bigger one facing away from me, and he's not moving, and he's like sideways. So that means he's got to be taller than the other one. and take a nice shot. I see all the sand moving around. I thought I had a stone shot, but I was kind of confused as to what was happening, and as soon as I pulled this fish out, I realized I did stone it, and it was just the Goliath grouper making a bunch of sand move around. But really nice dive there. Ended up being like 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Wasn't being too crazy, but definitely a fun dive right there. So I secure that nice gag, and as I'm getting that gag off my shaft and all that stuff, Ben points out another one with his gun. He's like, I already got my limit. I was just going to load my gun, but he already had his loaded, and he said, go ahead. So as you see here, I'm headed down to the bottom, get down here, and this is how you really want to approach stuff like this. You don't want to just swim around it. You want to be prepared as soon as you poke around that corner to take a shot. And as you see, there's the Goliath grouper over there, and as soon as I go to line up on this fish, that Goliath grouper spooks like right there and kind of scares that fish a little bit. So I didn't get the exact shot that I wanted, but it was still a holding shot. So just make sure to go secure that fish, make sure he doesn't get too tangled, grab Ben's shaft and all that stuff. And since the viz was so good, Ben and Jesse were above me and they could kind of see what was going on. So I get that fish free and I go to take the line off, and Ben's already down here. He reloaded my gun and stuff. So he gets that off there, and I'm free to head up to the surface. So real quickly here, this is Ben's perspective. He comes down here, just frees that line up. And as he's freeing that line up, he turns around and sees something pretty cool. He gets that line free, turns around, there's a school of permit, and we weren't planning on taking any. We just wanted to shoot a couple gags and have some fun. Alrighty, y'all. We just finished up at the first spot. Spent about 45 minutes there. Ben and I got our limits of gags. Jesse's gonna hopefully see some nice ones here, and we're hopefully gonna find some pelagics. The viz is still really good. That was crazy. We never see that type of viz here, but we're gonna hopefully find some good fish here. Catch you in the water. So we hopped in the water at that other spot. We didn't see much going on, so we decided to leave. We're now at a deeper wreck in about 75, 80 feet of water here. And we just wanted to make sure that there were still permit here. And as you can tell, there's plenty of them. We just wanted to make sure they were there for the weekend because we had a tournament coming up, which you guys will see next video. Crazy tournament. But we left that wreck, didn't want to disturb them too much. We went to one that we've never dove before. It's about 65, 70 feet here. And on this drop here, I didn't wear a weight belt, so I'm just sinking really slow. Slowly kicking, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but my gun does have a fourth band on it, which it's not meant to do. And if you overpower a trigger mech like that, it makes it really hard to pull, and it just won't release the shaft nearly as easily as it should. So as you see here, just gliding over the wreck, and when you got a bunch of fish up in the water column, there's no reason really to go to the bottom. Just take your time, shoot a couple up in the water column, and once they get a little bit smarter, you can go down to the bottom. But as you saw there, I tried pulling the trigger and it wouldn't pull. Another nice one came out of the wreck and took a really good shot on him. It still shot good, it's just the trigger was really hard to pull. So went back up to the surface, took that fourth band off, but I did secure a really nice snapper there.
Hey y'all, this is Jesse. I'm just taking my dive down. I'm actually using my brand new gun. It's an Omer 130. And on the shaft that it came with, it's got this little mechanism to keep the flopper closed until you actually shoot a fish, and then it's supposed to open up. Well, you'll see in a second it didn't work properly, but I'm chasing this nice snapper down right here. He's not wanting to give me a good shot, so I'm just taking my time, making sure I shoot him good. And right there, gave me a nice shot. Took it, and he runs under this ledge right here, so I'm trying to pull him out and free him up. And I just got him free, and right there my shaft pulls out. So that was because the flopper never actually opened. But a little unfortunate, but not much you can do there.
Hey guys, Ben again. So I wanted to test out my big 4-band Bluewater gun with a slip tip, just accuracy wise and seeing how it would handle shooting, fish, and just trying to gain some confidence with it. So I wanted to test that out before the fire charity tournament. So I decided I was going to pick out the first good fish that came up to me, which happened to be this nice butterball snapper. He came on over, waited for him to cross in front of the gun, pulled the trigger. I hit him a little bit low, but the slip tip ended up working great. Shot the fish, just put a little bit of tension on him to keep him out of the bottom side of that structure there. And then once I kind of put enough pressure on him, he broke free, and then I just started pulling him on up as I made my way to the surface. This guy was, I think, 20-something inches, roughly 20 inches. Just a nice fat butterball snapper and nice confidence builder for my spear gun before the tournament.
So Ben just secured that nice snapper there. I head down to the bottom, taking a full dive here, just going all the way down there and waiting some bigger ones out, and lay on the bottom, start grunting, all that good stuff. And we weren't seeing anything like too big, so we knew we didn't have to like save any of these fish for our tournament. So I'm just sitting here waiting for a bigger snapper, and out in the distance a really nice one swims up through the water column, and waiting for him to get into range. As soon as he gets into range there, he turns sideways, gives me a nice shot. But I could tell he wasn't going to come any closer, so I land a good holding shot there, swim around this wreck, and as I go to pull this fish out, I can tell the shaft's still in him, obviously, because he's wiggling around in there. And as I'm pulling him out, it just pulls free from that fish, as you see. Just comes right out. But we still had a good day, and thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.
Hey y'all, this is Jesse again, heading back down to the bottom. I decided to give the shaft one more try. Maybe it just didn't work right the first time. Wasn't sure, it's a brand new gun, just testing it out. So headed back down, looking for a big snapper again. And I see this group over here, and I see a big one out front, and he gives me a nice shot on him. So got him right there, and right there my shaft slipped out again. So I decided to give the shaft one more try, but figured it's time to get a new one because this isn't going to work out.
Alrighty y'all, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe. Had a great day diving out of Bradenton, shot some nice gags and some nice snapper. Catch you in the next one.